Benvenuti, bentrovati alla nostra puntata numero 426. Già negli anni passati vi abbiamo proposto servizi sugli MCC, European Media Cycling Contest, un contest, appunto un incontro di 4 giorni con importanti media totalmente dedicati al ciclismo e al cicloturismo che arrivano da tutta Europa e non solo. Anche in questa edizione, che si è tenuta a Rimini a metà giugno, nei giorni stessi di Velocity, avevamo con noi organizzatori che abbiamo creduto in questo progetto sin dal 2021, un media, un giornalista che arrivava dall'Australia e uno dagli Stati Uniti d'America. È proprio su quest'ultimo che ci concentriamo per iniziare a raccontarvi questa nostra quinta edizione, su cui poi torneremo in realtà tra qualche puntata, ma ciò che l'amico Brandon Alvarado dagli Stati Uniti d'America ci ha portato è stato molto di più di tutta la sua compagnia, la sua simpatia, come spesso accade quando si incontrano persone che arrivano dal di fuori di quello che è il nostro ambiente più classico e anche dal nostro paese. Si incontrano delle vere e proprie risorse, persone, personaggi, persone a dire il vero, che fanno delle cose straordinarie, belle, interessanti, che hanno una umanità che è bello condividere ed è bello conoscere. Pensate che Brandon Alvarado l'abbiamo incontrato durante il primo giorno di Velocity, che si è tenuta a Rimini dal 16 al 19 giugno, negli stessi giorni quindi degli MCC, e non a caso ovviamente, e lo abbiamo invitato a diventare parte della nostra comunità costruita ad hoc proprio per quei 4 giorni. Lui ha accettato con un entusiasmo fantastico e un po' alla volta lo abbiamo scoperto, si è fatto scoprire da che punto di vista, oltre alla simpatia e l'umanità, come detto, anche la sua attività come quello che è il numero uno, definiamolo così, della Ride of Silence, una organizzazione che lui a breve, con le sue stesse parole, ci spiegherà, che negli Stati Uniti d'America, ma in realtà in molti altri paesi del mondo, ma dagli Stati Uniti d'America tutto ha preso avvio, si concretizza in una serie di azioni e manifestazioni che sono volte a ricordare i ciclisti uccisi o gravemente feriti sulle strade degli Stati Uniti d'America e di tutto il mondo. Il problema è globale, enorme, enorme davvero in Italia, dove le statistiche ci continuano a dire che abbiamo un morto sulle strade in bici ogni 36 ore. Pensate a che follia. In questi giorni tra l'altro si sta correndo il Tour de France, è come se il gruppo del Tour de France, anzi più numeroso degli atleti che partecipano al Tour de France, partisse al via e al ritorno, davvero il traguardo non lo arriverebbe a tagliare nessuno. Questa è la realtà che viviamo, drammatica, ogni anno in Italia. Allora, che cos'è Ride of Silence? Perché nasce Ride of Silence e quali sono i suoi obiettivi? Ce lo siamo fatti raccontare durante un pranzo, un immediato dopo pranzo, nei giorni proprio degli MCC, dalla voce di Brandon Alvarado.
My name is Brandon Alvarado. I am the president of the Ride of Silence. Our organization is rooted in the remembrance of fallen cyclists, while we are also equally as focused in advocacy, education, and bringing communities together to establish a goal of having safer streets for all users, whether that be bicyclists, pedestrians, car drivers. I'd like to point out that the Ride of Silence was founded in 2003 by one person who had a friend who was killed while riding their bike. And he said, we need to do something about this. We need to remember this person and not let it go forgotten. He sent out some emails to his local community, tried to gain some support. Because of the nature of the topic, some people choose to not follow along or are hesitant to join the cause. He sent one invitation, said, I'm going to show up at this location. If you guys want to join, please join. If not, I'll do it by myself. He showed up. 1,000 people were there. It was met by, because of so many people being in attendance, the police showed up because they were confused why there was that many people. And it ended with the police saying, what can we do to support? So the police ended up escorting the ride, and you know, they had helicopters and again, 1,000 people brought together for this one cause in 2003 for one person that was killed. Flash forward today, 2026, here we are, and it's grown into a global organization, a global cause, where we have anywhere from 300 to 400 organizers around the world who do this in their own community to unite communities and bring together people to make roads a safer place, again, for all users. Ride of Silence organizers are bike riders. You know, we're all volunteers. The organization is based off of volunteers. We have no paid staff, so it truly is a passion of ours to want to carry out this mission. Oftentimes, people, when tragic crashes like this happen, sometimes it'll make the news. It happens and it disappears and then it moves on. One of the things that a lot of times we look at numbers and we say, you know, a lot of cities and a lot of organizations and advocacy groups will count numbers and say how many fatalities we've had in this city and that city. And really, every single fatality is not just one person. It takes a chunk of the community. They could be a father, they could be a teacher, they could be part of a church. And so, you know, one person really being lost affects a large group of people. And so it, you know, it's important for us to continue to grow our numbers. I'm here in Italy to spread the mission, actually attending the Velocity Cycling Conference, and had the opportunity to join in other forums and get invitations for other rides to share what it is we do and let people know how important it is. And while, again, the mission of honoring cyclists who have been killed or seriously injured while riding is very negative, it's also very important that we continue it, to not let each one of the individuals as well as these pieces of communities around the world to be forgotten. You know, each one of the ride organizers, we allow the freedom for them to organize the ride in which they feel fit for their community. So there's not really a lot of firm requirements other than to invite as many people as they can, register their ride on our website, report the ride after they do it, and make sure to ride silently and carry out that honor for those fallen cyclists. We were founded in the United States. We are a global organization. We look forward to growing our organization, you know, day after day, year after year, ride after ride. And again, I just would like to point out that this is not just for cyclists. If you are a car driver, if you are a pedestrian, however you transport through your community, this cause affects you. And it's very important that, you know, for me, my personal goal, to find the way to create the message to relate to all people, to understand how important this mission is to all people, all users of the road, to, again, with the goal of one day having safe streets for all people. All the ride organizers are often advocates in their own community, which means things like shaping policy, showing up to meetings for council members and politicians, making our voices heard. We also do education to cyclists, to car drivers, to pedestrians because as a cyclist, we do have a responsibility to ride safely. Even as we rode up here, you know, in a big group, a lot of times there are drivers who might say, oh, those cyclists think they own the road. All the people own the road. So, you know, the road is for everybody. It's not just for car drivers. It's not just for cyclists. It shouldn't be a conflict and a competition. It's for all of us. So on our way up here, you know, when we hit a stop sign, even if nobody was there, we stopped. If we were at a traffic light and it was red, we stopped. So as a cyclist, we have some responsibilities. A lot of the advocates and organizers for the Ride of Silence are carrying out that education. It also comes down to infrastructure. A lot of times that can be very challenging. Many people know infrastructure is a long process of decision making by political leaders, and oftentimes is met with a lot of kickback or all the reasons, or is favoring cars and traffic to pass through fast. One of the common denominators of fatalities and traffic crashes is speed. So, to be able to establish better infrastructure is really important. So all of these components are something that ride organizers around the world and many countries are pushing for. Again, advocacy, better infrastructure, policy, and education. So I just want to end with thanking you for your time to listen to me explain what our mission is in a deeper sense. I will invite you to join our organization in whatever capacity. You don't have to come ride. We have a website, even just sharing our organization with other fellow colleagues, friends, or family members. Our website is theRideOfSilence.org, where you can find information about what we do. If you are interested in registering for a ride, there's information on how you can join and the process for doing that. And if you have any further questions, you can just reach out to the email and contact information there to see how you can bring safer streets, unite your communities, and make the roadways more inclusive and safer for everybody in your local community. So thank you, stay safe, and I appreciate you.
Una pedalata quindi silenziosa e lenta che è partita dagli Stati Uniti d'America, ma che non si tiene solo negli Stati Uniti d'America. Forse avremo, grazie a queste sue parole, altre sorprese nei prossimi mesi. In genere quello designato per il ricordo delle vittime della strada in bici è il mese di maggio. Siccome, come vi ho anticipato, agli MCC partecipano media e da tutta Europa e non solo, alcuni di loro sono stati interessati sentendo le parole che Brandon ci diceva durante la sua intervista. Sulla strada del ritorno ci ha quindi chiesto di poter fare un ulteriore intervento in hotel prima di andarci a cambiare dopo la giornata in bici. Naturalmente abbiamo accordato con grande interesse questa possibilità, perché il messaggio è di quelli che vale la pena spreadare, come si dice, insomma, in un qualche modo diffondere il più possibile. E così Brandon è tornato sull'argomento nella hall dell'hotel Oxygen a Rimini, dove era la base operativa di questi MCC 2026, quinta edizione, e queste sono le sue parole e anche il gesto finale.
Yeah, so thank you guys. This trip that I found myself on riding with you guys, I think we did about 90 miles over the past 2 days, was truly life-changing for me. Mentally, physically, and emotionally. Just I haven't ridden that much in a long time. And so it was very inspiring to do it with a bunch of other like-minded people such as yourselves from all over the world. So it was truly a blessing and an opportunity to get this to do with you guys. Just want to take a moment to recite the mission of the Ride of Silence. The Ride of Silence organization is rooted in the remembrance of cyclists who have been killed or seriously injured, but also is focused around promoting advocacy, education, and creating a culture where everybody can share the road respectfully and safely. Everybody, right? Pedestrians, car drivers, cyclists. I like to think of it as not car drivers versus bike riders, but we're all people who have different modes of transportation. Because I like to drive a car, I like to walk, I like to use all the other modes as well. So it's not just like us versus them, it's we're all people, and how do we bridge that gap to make that known to everybody and create that level of respect. I proudly can say I'm happy with the overall responsibility I saw from us as cyclists, because while we all have the rights to the road, in order to have the rights to those roads, we should maintain some responsibility. So, we stopped at lights. I saw very minimal, what we call one-handed waves, one-finger waves to the drivers, if you guys know what I mean. But yeah, I mean, there was multiple times where we had close encounters, over these 2 days, and it can be very hard. Even I have good and bad days where it's hard to control my emotions when somebody, the way I would look at it is puts a gun to your head and then they pull the trigger and there was nothing in there, right? And to me, that's what, like, somebody who drives a car right next to you is like. That's not something to joke about. That's not something to casually just go about your day. That can completely change somebody's life, and not just somebody's life, but when one person is killed, it affects a huge part of the community, right? They could be a mother, father, family member, part of your school, church, whatever it is that you do. One person is a whole big part of the community. Um, I'll share a story about one of the rides that I organized. We call it a tribute ride, when you just organize a ride that is for one person, right? So I organized this ride. A person was killed, retired husband. He went on a daily ride every day at the same time. He would come back. The wife noticed he wasn't back for a couple hours. She checked his GPS. He was 2 miles away. She went to go find where he was at because it was still for a while, and she found a crime scene taped off with police cars, and she was very upset and found that she no longer had a husband. And I was able to get in touch with the family to say, hey, because my thing is, whatever you guys want to do to honor this person, we're there for you. Let me know because I can gather the writers, I can gather the people. You just let me know. You have a lot on your plate right now. And we organized a ride about 3 weeks later. They wanted it on the weekend that they had the funeral because that's when the family would be there. And one of the biggest takeaways that I have of that is the daughter got up and spoke at the end of the ride, and she said that was the first time that she smiled since the passing of her father. And when I heard that, I was like, this is so important to have this ride, right? Because that changed the course, right? It's not a fun process at all to face a fatality of somebody you love. And so it's something that's hard to even tell that story without obviously getting a little bit of emotion, but I just wanted to kind of share one example of just one ride that could be completely life-changing for not just one person who got killed, but a whole community of people, because there was about 80 people in attendance, and a lot of people were affected, and it raised awareness just by simply organizing a ride. I'd like to ask by a show of hands, how many people here know somebody who's been killed while riding or seriously injured, or knows of somebody? Please raise your hand if you know somebody. So it looks like most of us, at least half of us. That's a pretty telling number. The reason I feel that it's so important to bring this up to you guys is because as serious bike riders, we spend a lot of time on the road, and we take that right to the road pretty seriously, right? We all want to train, or we have some goal, or we do it for fun, but we all want to come back from our rides. And so you guys know that we assume the risk, and we know the risk. And people probably, I get it told all the time, you ride a bike, you're crazy. That's, what do you want to, there is that danger. So we take on that danger. And I felt that it was really, when I chose to kind of spend time with you guys versus being in the conference throughout the day, I knew that you guys understand the mission very critically, and potentially could help share that mission within your countries and local communities. Another show of hands, could you please raise your hand if you guys organize rides in your own community? Anybody here organize your own rides, like recreational fun? Anybody? If you organize a ride, okay. So I'd like to formally ask you, from me, the board of directors, all the other organizers around the world, if you could please consider organizing a ride in your local community. It's a very simple process for the annual ride. It happens in May. You have a lot of freedom to do it how you want. I am obviously a resource to help you guys with whatever questions you might have, but the website has some of the information. We are working through the process of updating our website. And, I believe some of you guys might be tearing up right now, and that's because, this Ride of Silence mission is not an easy thing to talk about, and it's not exactly fun and positive. But riding 90 miles in this heat up a bunch of hills isn't easy either sometimes, right? So I know you guys are very capable of taking on a task that is super meaningful and important, only happens one day a year. And so I just, again, want to ask you guys to please consider organizing a ride in your local community. And again, thank you for taking the time to really allow me to share the mission of the Ride of Silence, while also just really taking it in. Yeah, it's been an amazing couple days. I'm still slapping my face. I can't believe this is real, to have this opportunity to meet, ride, drink wine, laugh, you know, collaborate, and maybe even tear and cry up a little bit. And I truly feel as though I've created a family here, of cyclists from all over the world, and has motivated me to want to come to your area, learn more, ride more with you. And the last thing I want to ask is a tradition that we do on the board of directors where, I brought, where we start every meeting with a moment of silence. And I thought that that was really important that we do that. So every meeting kicks off with that. And so if you guys all would be willing to, I'd like to like maybe get up and join hands, and we do a quick moment of silence, and then I'll let you guys get to the pool if that's okay. So if we could all stand up really quick and just join hands. So I'll go ahead and say, you know, we'll go ahead and begin. We'll start our moment of silence, and then I say, you know, thank you. There we go. And, you know, feel free to simply just be silent or share the thoughts and the feelings and the emotions for those who are no longer with us and all those community members who are also affected by this. So, all right, let's go ahead and begin now. All right, thank you guys. I appreciate you inviting me into your family, and so go enjoy the pool now. So thank you guys.
Un momento, devo dire, vissuto in maniera molto profonda, un momento assolutamente commovente nel ricordo delle vittime e di coloro che hanno subito gravissimi traumi nel momento in cui si trovavano in bici. La loro vita è cambiata da un istante all'altro, ma sono tante, e Brandon me lo ha detto più volte, le vite che cambiano. Noi non diciamo sempre, c'è un prima e c'è un dopo, che certamente riguarda il ciclista, riguarda la sua famiglia, riguardano i suoi amici, tutti i suoi gruppi di appartenenza, chi magari opera in parrocchia, chi opera in un circolo sportivo, insomma tutti quelli che sono i luoghi in cui ci si muove abitualmente, tutti vengono travolti da questo lutto. Ma poi c'è l'investitore, colui che uccide, che non è mai una macchina, è sempre una persona alla guida di un'autovettura, di un camion, insomma di un automezzo. C'è sempre una persona che vive in maniera altrettanto tragica, mediamente ovvio, quell'evento, e ad essere sconvolte anche la sua famiglia e altri circuiti di appartenenza, altri circoli, altri ambienti in cui la persona magari è abituata a muoversi da anni. Tutto cambia. C'è un prima e un dopo con costi estremamente elevati in termini ovviamente di salute, di vita umana, ma anche di denari. Questo lo abbiamo detto tante volte, non smetteremo mai di dirlo. Un motivo molto semplice per non profondere quella che è la rabbia sulla strada è proprio questo, che vi cambia la vita in un istante e dopo per pentirsene tardi. Purtroppo non si torna indietro, tanto vale allora magari aspettare qualche istante in più e non dare vita a lotte impari, 1000 kg di automobile o ancora di più se parliamo di un camion, di un bilico, di un tir, contro neanche 100 kg di ciclista. Pensateci sempre, mi rivolgo agli automobilisti, io stesso appartengo ovviamente anche a questa categoria, prima di dare sfogo ad una rabbia repressa che, se ci pensate, probabilmente nasce per altri motivi. Allora, grazie di cuore davvero a Brandon Alvarado, noi abbiamo colto l'opportunità nell'averlo conosciuto e nell'aver saputo che è l'organizzatore di questa Ride of Silence, è colui che tiene in piedi questa associazione. Tra l'altro c'è un sito, rideofsilence.com, c'è una pagina Facebook che è molto più aggiornata ed attiva, quindi vi invito a seguirli, vi invito ad informarvi su questa iniziativa e perché no magari a cercarla di traslare sulle vostre città, su i vostri luoghi di appartenenza. Sarebbe davvero meraviglioso se per maggio 2027 molti di voi, qualcuno di noi, perché no, riuscisse ad organizzare qualcosa in questo senso. Era la nostra puntata numero 426 che ancora una volta siamo riusciti a dedicare al tema della sicurezza stradale. Ne abbiamo altre sul nostro canale YouTube, iscrivetevi e seguiteci. Grazie per essere stati con noi anche in questa puntata, l'appuntamento come sempre alla prossima settimana.